So I'm a scientist by training. Did my first degree back in a long time ago in the 80s, graduated in the 90s from Galway. And at that time I always wanted to do a PhD, but I didn't really know what topic I wanted to do it in. So I kind of looked around, decided then to apply for a green card for the US. Went off on a diversion for a few years, worked in research basically for several years, and then came back after 5 years to Switzerland, did my PhD in genomics and molecular biology, and with the University of Zurich. And after that, then I went to pharma. So setting up a genomics team that was working in clinical trials in all disease areas, trying to profile patients to identify what's going on with their disease and who's going to respond to different therapies. So I've always been, in my professional career, working in that field of targeted drug discovery and targeted therapies, looking into the genetic makeup of people. So that, in a way, was, albeit in a big organization, that was the entrepreneurial part of that environment that we were working in, because it was new at the time, back in the early 2000s. And since then I've evolved in that space, working more in diagnostics, getting away from pharma, but still working with diagnostic companies, developing those tests. And over the last number of years I've been gradually building up my expertise and my capabilities in that area. And at some point I decided it's time for me to move back home. So I moved back to Ireland last year and set up independently as a consultant. I'm still doing a lot of the same work I used to do, working with a lot of the network I've developed over those years, working with both pharma and diagnostic partners who are working in the genomics, the genetic space, new technologies, and so on. So this for me is, while it's familiar, it is totally new that I'm working very independently, and that certainly takes some different kind of drive, different kind of spirit, I suppose, to keep things going. But it's fun. Obviously, it allows me the flexibility to work from home. I'm from Leitrim. I grew up in Fina. I'm now living back in Fina after 25 years in other countries, and yeah, it's fun. But I'm happy to make connections locally as well with other women in business and in science.
So 1 year into your entrepreneurship life, I suppose, what's the best advice you have for those that are just starting out now?
Try it. Just try whatever it is you're thinking of. There's no point in sitting back in 10 years' time and thinking, oh, I should have done that. Just try it and get out there. Ask questions. I know I'm always, and historically in my career, I would not have been the best about approaching people and asking for help, asking for mentorship, just going out there and doing it, because people are happy to help. People are happy to give advice, exactly as we're doing right now. So if someone is starting out, just ask someone who's the expert.
Brilliant. A little bit about your own support network. So you have a great international list. Yeah, because I've worked in different countries over the years, a lot of my network is outside of Ireland. So within Ireland I'm a little bit weak, and that's something that I'm trying to do now and focus on building up my connections locally, with the universities, with small companies, with startups and so on. But a lot of my work is still international, so I'm still working for companies either in Europe or the US. And it's fine these days with internet connectivity, that's perfectly fine. But I would love to have a lot more connections locally as well, just to further the things here. So your plans for the future, what are the next year and 2
Yeah.
years looking like for you?
So it's more of the same, really, continuing to build that network, trying to find those interesting ideas that are coming up through the universities within Ireland as well. If I can help companies to go to the next level, that would be great. And build my own business at some point. If it gets to be big enough, if I can take on other people, I would love to do that. I think that's quite a few years down the line, but ideally it would be great.